Hi, Jeff Bale from Flash Evolution. You found your way here, and following this short introduction, you'll find a preview of some of our new products. And this particular one is the 10th lesson, the 10th of 10 lessons in the basic tax tips. And so the format of these are, we have in the basic unit, there's 10 lessons. The videos are 10 to 15 minutes in length. They deal with such topics as why you need to have a home-based business, why you need to know IRS rules, who, what, when, where, why rules, meals and travel, travel logs, office expenses, how you can deduct the office and the home, how long do you need to keep your records. And then this lesson that's attached that you're going to see as a preview is learning all those rules. You can expect to save some tax savings, so it kind of just lays out and shows you what that could mean. That's our basic course. And then the advanced course is a similar format, 10 videos, 10 to 15 minutes a piece. And they get into a little more depth and learning how you can maybe take a cruise and deduct part of that, learning what kind of a business entity you need to set up, how you can live your life and learn how to deduct your life without changing a lot of what you do. So that's our advanced tax tip. So we're running some specials right now, and if you buy both, you get a little bit of some savings. So stay, right after this is the preview, the lesson number 10 of our basic series, and I hope you enjoy. Again, Jeff Bale from Flash Evolution. Jeff Bale from Flash Evolution, where we're exposing expertise. We're teaching real learning from real experts. We want to help you get from A to B quickly and expertly. We want to teach you actualities, not academics. We want to help you nurture your ideas. We're in the business helping ideas grow, because we remember only two things change your life. A new idea comes into you, or a new idea comes out of you. So learn how to do that. Surround yourself with new ideas. Hopefully through this series you've learned some basic ideas. I encourage you to go on and get our advanced course, where we'll talk a little bit in depth about some of these ideas. And the concept there is that we're assuming you're going to be successful in this business. So as the more money you make, the more you really need to get into the IRS tax code and learn how you can use it to work for you. It certainly is a good thing. Start a home-based business and become an entrepreneur. Become an entrepreneur means you're committing yourself to a lifetime of learning. I read books all the time. Last year I read 28 books. That just keeps me fresh, keeps me with new ideas. And believe it or not, there's always something you can learn. Because I took control of my destiny, and I'm certainly learning how to minimize my taxes from year to year. So let's talk today. So what's the point of all this? We talked about saving money. So what does that mean, saving money? Let me show you some real-life details of how you can actually save tax dollars. We're going to talk about two different people. They happen to be in the same industry. They're both plumbers. One's an employee, one's a self-employed person. Johnny, a good employee, works for the local Plumbers, Inc. It's a plumbing company. He's an employee. At the end of the year, he gets a W-2 wage. Now, Joe the plumber works as an entrepreneur. He works for himself. So he doesn't have a boss other than his clients. He's got clients and customers. So let's make some assumptions from the beginning. They each have the same expenses, their living expenses. They drive an automobile 20,000 or a truck 20,000 miles a year. And that costs them, assuming that the standard mileage rate, it costs them $11,300 a year for their mileage of their truck. They both go out and spend about $100 a week in meals and entertainment. They both have a computer and office supplies to the tune of about $3,000. They both pay $480 for the internet. They both pay about $1,400 for their cell phone. They both go to conferences about their trade every year for $1,800. Unfortunately, the employee doesn't get his reimbursed, so he's out of pocket. And of course, they both live somewhere, and their home costs are about $16,800. So they're about $39,000, right at about $40,000 of expenses that they both have. They're the same. Let's assume that the dollars they receive are the same. Johnny, good employee of Local Plumbers, Inc., makes a gross wage of $60,000. Now, when it's a gross wage, he gets taxed on that. Joe the plumber, he's an entrepreneur, works for himself, but he gets $60,000 income from his clients. Here's this argument we talked way about in the beginning about income versus wages. Same amount of money coming in, but I'll show you how it ends up not being the same at the end of the day. Let's talk about Johnny Good Employee first. His gross wage is $60,000. He gets taxed on $60,000. Right off the bat, he doesn't even get to seize the tax money. Doesn't even get a chance to touch it. It gets taken from him before he even gets it. He gets a net check. His taxes are about $19,000 between the federal tax, between Social Security and Medicare, between the state tax and the city tax. He gets about 32% taken out of his paycheck to go as taxes. Never sees the money. He gets the net check of $40,810, which is about 68%. Now he gets this $40,810 as his net paycheck. We talked about his expenses being $39,980, and at the end of the year, for all his work, he has $830 left that he can put in a savings account. He can go on a vacation with, but it's not a lot of money, but that's what it is because he has no control over his tax situation. Joe the plumber, again, has $60,000 of gross income. He has 1099 income from his clients. They pay him that amount of money. Now his taxable income is not $60,000, but it's actually $40,000, and we'll show you the deductions behind that. So he doesn't pay taxes on the full amount. So therefore, his tax liability between federal, Social Security, Medicare, state, and local taxes is only $15,000 or 25%, almost 26%. So he gets to keep 74% of the net $60,000, Joe the plumber does. Now on his expenses, let's assume that he has 20,000 miles we talked about, and that he can do a mileage log and create deductibility for 80% of that. That $11,300 that he creates, he actually gets a deduction of $9,000. Meals and entertainment, let's say he decides that all his entertainment now are going to be revolved around his customer base or prospecting his customers. And so he gets a 50% deduction on all that. He doesn't go out to dinner now with anybody unless it's a customer. So he gets a $2,600 deduction. The computer and office supplies, it's pretty much used for business, 100% deduction, deduct $3,000. Internet, cell phone, his conferences now are a deductible expense. And of course, he has this home and office, and we assume that 10% of his home is dedicated to his in-home office based upon his percentage of business use. And so all of those deductions, the deductibility of all those expenses that he and the employee have are the same, he gets to deduct $20,000 off the income. Now, the percentages I assume might not be true, but for the sake of discussion, this is what I assume. So Joe the plumber's net, he has income of $60,000, he pays taxes of $15,420. His expenses are the same as the employee, $39,980, but he has leftover cash of $4,600, big difference. So if you look at them side by side, the wages and the income are both $60,000. The taxes for Johnny Good Employee are $19,000. Taxes for Joe the plumber are $15,000. The expenses are the same, right at $40,000. Johnny Good Employee has $830 left. Joe the plumber has $4,600 left. So the tax saving by being an entrepreneur for Joe the plumber were $3,770. That's how it works when you look at why you want to be an entrepreneur and a business person. So again, we spent several lessons talking about starting a home-based business. Or if you've already been in this business, then make sure you understand and don't lose deductions. Never leave a restaurant without grabbing their receipt if you're with a business prospect. Never leave a business purpose meeting without grabbing a receipt if you can. This is what entrepreneurs do. Commit to becoming an entrepreneur. Commit to a lifetime of learning. I want you to take control of your destiny, and I want you to minimize your taxes. Jeff Bale, Flash Evolution.